Hi, I'm Sharon Abaud, immigration attorney in Los Angeles, California. In this video, I'm going to talk about the provisional waiver for unlawful presence. Today, I had a young man come into my office with kids of the age of around 5, 7, and 9, if I recall correctly. They went to a notario, or someone who pretended to know what they were doing with immigration paperwork, who got their petition approved and then said, you know what, we're going to send you to Mexico, you're ready for your interview. They all went, it's summertime, so they all went together. They didn't have to, but they all went together to Mexico, paid for the plane tickets, all the immigration fees, and the hotel in Ciudad Juarez. And there, the immigration officer told mom that that they had to deny her case, and she could not enter the U.S. as an immigrant until she either spent 10 years outside of the U.S. or had a waiver approved for her unlawful presence in the U.S. This happens a lot. People finding out outside the U.S. that they're going to have this 10-year punishment. Now, why did this punishment apply? The punishment applied because she had, if you've been here since at least April 1st, 1997. Since April 1st, 1997, the clock is starting to count your unlawful presence. So any unlawful presence that you've spent here in the U.S. since April 1st, 1997, that's counting in the clock. And the moment she left to go to her interview, the punishment started for having spent more than 1 year of unlawful presence in the U.S. So because of that, she was given the 10-year punishment, and she has to wait outside possibly years for either a waiver in the best case scenario, or wait the 10 years and prove that she spent 10 years outside and then immigrate. It breaks my heart because I see it a lot, but it still breaks my heart because it took the family aback. Here they are thinking they're doing something, for the good of their case. And there they find out that mom's going to have to say bye to her kids and husband, and who knows when she's going to see them again. It's heartbreaking for the kids as well, and for the husband who's trying to support everyone and trying to keep a happy face at home. I see this a lot, and please don't get duped by this. Make sure you get the right advice. If you have more than 1 year of unlawful presence in the U.S., you are going to trigger what's called the 10-year bar if you leave the U.S. If you have more than 6 months of unlawful presence in the U.S. and you leave, it's going to be a 3-year punishment. Now, what would I have told this client if he came to me earlier before they all left to the interview? I would have told them, do not go to the interview yet, okay? We're going to file for you what's called a provisional waiver. You qualify for this waiver because you're married to a U.S. citizen. People who qualifies for this waiver, a husband, a U.S. citizen or resident, husband or wife, or a U.S. citizen or resident, mother or father. If you're a child petitioning for your mother or father, your mother or father won't qualify for this waiver. The only family members are husband or wife, or mother or father. He would have qualified her, though. She would have qualified for this waiver, and she wouldn't have to spend this time apart from her family if everything worked out well. The waiver would have been, the perk of this is that you file for the waiver here in the U.S., you get it approved in the U.S., and you don't go anywhere. You don't prepare for your interview abroad until you have that approved waiver in hand. And they're not going to deny you for this unlawful presence reason with that waiver in hand. Then you would, you would wait for your packet, maybe a few weeks at max, and then you would, pass through customs, and when they, check your packet and everything's okay, at that point you would be a resident. But we're looking at a few weeks of being gone versus possibly a few years, depending on how fast they process. It takes for her to prepare the waiver and how long they process the waiver. So it's really something that happens a lot, and it's something to be mindful of. If you know someone who is preparing to leave, make sure they know about this and have consulted with the adequate person to make sure that they have the right waiver approved before they go to their interview. If you have any questions, I would be happy to help. You can leave a comment. on my wall or below, or you can message me in private if you have a personal question. Thank you. I'm Sharon Abaud, immigration attorney in Los Angeles, California.